Hello, everybody. Welcome back once again. Thank you so very much for spending some of your valuable time with me today. My name is Jeremy, and welcome to the show. So, hopefully, I can go over something that will kind of speak to you, speak to somebody out there at least, and give you something that makes it worth your time here today. And that's kind of where we're going with is time. It's it's a huge topic for, I believe, everybody. What are you spending your time on? What are you devoting the time that you have? And I know I've touched on this subject in a past episode. It was basically how I was spending time at home, where my priorities were, what I needed to change to adjust those priorities because I wasn't spending that time as well as I could have. So, changing that up a little bit, I want to mainly address at work. And and of course, as always, I work for the fire service. And so basically my life experiences at work or career, whatever you want, however you want to put it, are geared towards the fire service. But I hope that I hope that whatever I say can be applied to pretty much anything, because I know there are a few people out there listening that aren't exactly tied to the fire service, but I feel like most of what I have to say, and especially this topic too, is it can be applied to anything. It's universal to life basically. And so, yes, I'm going to focus on, and my wording is going to be focused on the firehouse and all that, but try to apply it to your life. If you didn't listen to the episode that I talked about, time at home, then it's basically the same thing. Apply it to your time at home, apply it to your time at the office, or wherever you work, whatever you're doing. It Time obviously is a big part of our lives. And I saw a saying the other day, and I've seen it several times, and it's basically, if you don't prioritize your time, somebody else or something else will. And that's I believe that 100%, absolutely. And I see it constantly because I have a bad habit of letting that go, letting just losing control of that time. And very, very quickly, once I lose control of that time, it gets sucked away by things that really shouldn't be taking it up. So 100% believe in that saying, and really want to kind of lead off with that. And so this is this is something that we as a crew have been kind of fighting, I guess you would say, for a little bit. And actually is a conversation that I just had with my crew just yesterday, or 2 days ago, last day I was on shift, because it's something that I have really struggled with being okay, just dealing with. And I think by struggling is, I mean, it's hard. It was getting hard for me to be in a good mood, to have a good attitude, to have a high morale, because I was seeing this as such a problem, and it was really, really starting to aggravate me. And I don't in any means, any way, intend to focus on others, because I am just as guilty of it as anybody else. And like I said, it's been a problem that I have very intentionally had to focus on, especially home. But it's just the time that we spend and what we spend it on. So for those of you that don't know, I'm an 18-year career firefighter, and the only reason I say that is because this is part of the conversation we had the other day. Is 18 years of doing this as a career, meaning 10 days a month I spend 24 hours at the station. It's at least, and obviously it doesn't always, just time out that way, but at least 240 hours of my life every month I spend at the fire station for 18 years. And I told those guys, I don't feel like there is one aspect of the job, one technique, one area, whatever you want to call it, that I can honestly and comfortably say that I am an expert in. And I I don't know if that's bad. I don't know if that's good. I don't know, but I know for a fact, being very honest, that I am not an expert in anything. And then after 18 years of doing it to the extent that I have, you would think maybe you should be more comfortable in at least one area, but I'm just not. And and like I've talked about in the past, I'm doing some volunteer work now as well. Very new at it, so I don't feel comfortable speaking of it like I know a lot about it, because I don't. I'm still learning a lot, but for my volunteer brother and sisters out there, I it it continues to blow my mind how you can be so motivated and learn so much as you are out there, because you have your own jobs that aren't firefighting, and you still find the time to do training, to go to classes, to better yourselves and prepare yourselves, and it's truly amazing to me. And I have the most respect for those people, because that that's it's a big deal. I've said it before, the time that they find for that training, the time that they find for those classes and the meetings and whatever else, that time directly competes with their time at home with their family. And so I that is where that respect comes from. I have the utmost respect for those people, and I know that each time that happens, it's a decision, and it's not an easy decision of do I do this to better prepare myself for the job, or do I stay home and spend time with my family? And so, anybody out there that looks unkindly to volunteers, I challenge you to get out and spend some time doing it yourself. Even if you are a career firefighter, especially if you're a career firefighter and you think that you have the right to look down on volunteers and make fun of them and this and that, I challenge you to get out there and do it yourself, to feel what it feels like to have to leave your family in the middle of a meal, or to leave your family on a night that you could be doing whatever it is that you could be doing, playing games together, watching TV together, just spending time relaxing together, swimming, whatever. It doesn't matter. You have to leave that environment with the people that you love the most and sometimes go work your butt off, to go train, to go sit and learn something that maybe not the most interesting, maybe not the funnest, whatever. Until you do that, you have no right to make fun of volunteers, for sure, because I guarantee you it will open your eyes. And there are some amazing departments out there. There are some amazing volunteer firefighters out there doing great things, and it's inspiring to me as a not only as a volunteer when I'm at home, but I think even more so as a firefighter who does it as a living at a career department. Because if those people, those men and women, can find the time to do it away from their already full-time job, I better be doing it all the time because it is my full-time job. So I find that is such an inspiration. And for any volunteers out there that are listening, I want to send you directly to the professional volunteer. If you're listening to this and you haven't heard anything from Chief Suller with the professional volunteer, that's that's the first place I want to send you, because he encompasses everything I'm talking about right now. That is his message. You don't have to be paid to be a professional. And 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 that's kind of, I'm entering yet again one of my very frequent and poorly thought out rabbit holes, but that's where I'll kind of end that little topic of this discussion. Is he knows exactly how to be a professional. He has some great guests that are doing the exact same thing. They have full-time jobs, yet they still find a time to do the job. I don't care if they're not getting paid for it. It is a job. They're doing the job just as well, if not better, than we as career firefighters are doing it. So anyway, that, like I said, that is a little bit of a rabbit hole kind of leading off of topic, but at the same time, it's not, because like I ended it right there. It's so inspiring to me to see those people doing it. I've got there's a couple guys with my volunteer department that are going through a hazmat class right now, and they've sent a couple pictures to the rest of the department of them in their suits, and of them using foam and things like that. And it's so cool to see somebody spending their nights, spending their weekend doing something like that to better themselves for others, when they could be spending that time just relaxing at home. So again, I appreciate so much those influences that I have from the volunteer departments that push me to be better in my career department. But getting back to kind of the basis of where I started, we have so much time at the station, at the firehouse, whatever you want to call it, so much time. And depending on the busyness of your station, that could be that could be a whole lot. Or I get that changes a little bit. Some people work for busier stations. Some people work for stations that are responsible for a lot of other things that take up time. I would say that we used to be at a pretty busy station. Since all this virus stuff started, we have literally cut our call volume in at least a third, if not you know I said that wrong. So we're running about a third of the calls, if not even down to a quarter of what we ran. That's a better way to say it. So that being said, our call volume is definitely not there as much, but we still have EMS classes. We still have some fire training that we're responsible for. There's always something going on, and so I get that a lot of time is devoted to that, but still, even having busy days that are full of whatever, there's always time left. And so I just want to kind of challenge everybody out there to think about what that time is being filled with. And that's kind of how I addressed it with my crew. Is just just think personally. I told him I don't want to point fingers at any one person, and I don't want to point fingers at anybody out there. I'm pointing it right back at myself, because this is a question I ask myself constantly. Just imagine how much time you're spending on your phones or watching TV, and just kind of get a ballpark estimate in your head of that amount of time. And I guarantee you, all of us are going to lowball that time. I don't think anybody really puts a honest figure on what that time is. I think everybody spends more time on their phone and watching TV or whatever it is than they really understand. And I think, I don't, not saying that we're not honest about it. I just think we spend more time doing that stuff than we realize. And so anyway, take that time. So say it's 4 hours, whatever, just just guessing. So 4 hours a day while we're at the firehouse, we're spending sitting either on the phones, on our laptops, on our iPads, on our watching TV, doing that type of stuff. So 4 hours of the day we're doing that. Compare that to what we're spending truly immersing ourselves in the fire service. So that means watching real scenes of, YouTube videos of real fire scenes, or YouTube videos of classes or conferences that were recorded, uh, watching stuff on social media that you're learning, quotes or podcasts you're listening to, or getting out and physically doing some training yourself. That's where I want to get to really look at those two numbers and think to yourself, what am I spending my day doing? And I I honestly think that we would be surprised if we really stopped and thought about that. And that's where the frustration that I have kind of that's been building inside me here lately is coming from, is, we'll sit and talk all day long about, everything, which is fine. And I wanted to make sure I conveyed to them, I love talking about whatever nonsense, or family things, or what's going on at home, or projects going on. That builds the team, that builds relationships. That has to be there. But it's the stuff like griping about virus issues going on right now, all the rules that we have in addition to normal stuff. It's, we're not happy with this, or we're not happy with that, or politics, or things that tear morale down. We're eating up our day with that stuff. We're eating up our attitude with that stuff. We're eating up our morale with those things, when we could be getting into a good leadership podcast, when we could be getting into a good class, or a good, fire engineering training minutes session. Elkhart Brass has put out some awesome stuff. There are hours and hours and hundreds of hours of things out there that we could be spending our time doing, that's going to benefit our morale, that's going to build our team, that's going to build our relationships together, is going to help our skill level and our confidence. Those are the things that I want to challenge us to spend more time doing. And like I told them, I don't expect to spend all day doing this stuff. I don't expect 8 hours of hard work from you guys. All I all I want is just a few hours of concentrated effort, bettering ourselves, feeding ourselves. And that's another thing that I told them is, is I'm at a good place right now to where I'm just hungry, hungry to learn, hungry to grow. And I just feel lately that I am starving for that. I'm not getting fed what I feel like I need to be happy. And I want to enter every day and grow. I want to enter every day and feel like I did something that made me better. I did something to learn a little bit. I did something to tighten up a little bit of a technique of this or that. And that was what that's what I was trying to convey, is that, I can't expect everybody to be on my level as far as, the passion level or the drive for the job. I can't expect that. But as a leader, as a station officer, I want to try to find ways to pull people towards that. I want to incite that passion in people. I've got a wide range of experience levels in my crew. All the way from, I think, 4 years in the fire service up to almost 19. And so with that comes lots of different levels of, drive for the job. You got, and I've talked about it before, the fire service career is a roller coaster. And, it doesn't matter if you've got 20 years on, you could be burned out or you could be fired up. It doesn't matter if you have 30 years on. It doesn't matter if you have 5 years on. You could already be burned out. You could be at the highest peak of passion and drive at 35 years. It doesn't matter where you're at. You could be high and passionate and pushing to get better every day, or you could be in a slump and all you want to do is sit around and just look for a way to get out of doing anything. And so I think, just personally, I think this year, just the past 5-6 months, it's been like I don't know, it's been like a constant roller coaster just in the past 6 months. I mean, I've had more ups and downs just in that time than probably any other time in my career, just with the environment nowadays. I'll be driven and really passionate and super fired up, and then, all this virus stuff and political stuff and all the outside influences will pull me down, and then I'll have to fight right back and you know ignore it all and get all that back, and I'll be back up where I need to be, and then it'll suck me right back down. And so there's so many ways to lose that nowadays. And so it's so much easier to just sit around and be sucked into that life of negativity and bad attitudes and laziness. It's so easy to fall into that. And I guarantee you, what is not easy is to be on the opposite end of that spectrum. It's not easy to remain fired up. It's not easy to keep pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing. And so, if that's what you want, if that's where you want to be, it's a constant fight. It's a constant intentional effort to stay in the job and stay fired up and stay pushing towards that goal of getting better every day. And so, really getting back to the main kind of idea that I'm trying to really push is, what are you spending that time doing? If you find yourself sitting at the table and you have an hour to just relax because you got stuff done for the day that needs to be done, you don't really have anything going on till you're going to work out, pull up some YouTube videos of fires and just watch and kind of talk with your other crew members of how we would handle it. Pull up a podcast. Oh, there's there's dozens and dozens of fire service related podcasts out there. I'm finding, and it seems like every time I'm on Instagram, there's somebody new putting out a post of, they're starting a new one, and that's awesome. That's what I'm doing. I mean, why would I be against that? There's just so many. I mean, you could literally find any topic that you wanted to discuss on a podcast, and just sit and listen to it. Listen to it with everybody. You know, it's so much easier to build morale and to get fired up and to light the passion back into your career if you're doing it with others. If you're trying to do it alone, it is a hard road to go. And so, just like anything else in the fire service, everything is better with the team. And so just want to really challenge everybody to think about what you're spending your time on. If there are large blocks of time, shoot, if there are small blocks of time that you find yourself just mindlessly perusing through your phone or searching through your social media or watching a stupid movie that we've seen literally 80 times at the station, turn it off. Get into something fire service related. Get outside, hook a hose to something, work on your techniques, find something to do that's going to better yourself, that's going to put your citizens in a better position to survive if you're called in that, and you know to do something to help them. Put yourself in a better spot to help those people. Use that as a building cornerstone for a better team. And that's really what it comes down to is what, like I talked about it at home, what are your priorities? Why are you a firefighter? Are you there just because they they pay all right and because you get 20 days off a month? Are you there because you can go to the station on your working days and relax and chill and hang out? Or are you there to help people? Are you honestly there to help people? Because if you're there to help people, if you're saying that, then you need to get off your butt. You need to get out of the recliner. You need to get away from the things that aren't helping the citizens, aren't helping your crew, and get into those. Start making yourself better every day. Start pushing your team to get better every day with you, because that's what truly helps others. And one more thing, and that's kind of another thing that we talked about is, you know, helping others doesn't end at the citizens. Helping others is just as much involved in those men and women that you're stationed with, that you're on the department with. Those people need you as well. Those people need your help as well. They, there's somebody that you're working with or that you're stationed with or that's on your department that needs you to motivate them, to inspire them, to put a hand out and lift them up. And so I I think we focus a lot on helping others as far as the citizens we serve, which is, well, obviously, yes, it should be like that, but it does not end there. There are men and women at that firehouse kitchen table that need you just as much as those citizens outside the doors. And so don't just focus on that. Focus on the men and women that we're stationed with, because we can help them as well. So again, I think everybody will tell you that's in the fire service, they're there to help others. But if you're saying that, you need to really think about what that means. Helping others is not just something we say. Helping others is not just something we do when we're called. Helping others means we're putting ourselves in the best position to do whatever it is necessary when we are called, which means we are doing that ahead of time. We are training ahead of time. We are learning ahead of time before the call happens. And so that's where we need to really focus on what time we have, what we are doing with that time. So that's about the everything I have to say. Again, like I always say, if at this point, if I don't get off, I'm kind of talking in circles, and so I want to kind of leave it at that. But again, challenge you to look at what you're doing, challenge you to really be honest with yourself, challenge you to truly do what you need to do to help others. And so I'll leave you with that. I thank you very much once again for spending a little bit of time with me today. I am excited to be working on getting another guest on, hopefully here in a couple of days. So looking forward to doing that, especially with the topic. I've got a topic that I'm excited to really dig into, and a co-host that I'm excited to do it with. So keep your eyes out. I will be hopefully putting something out on that pretty quick as soon as we can work on a day to get together. And so I'm just I appreciate everything you guys are doing out there. I know there's a lot of people out there that are truly doing good things, and it's inspiring to me. Just keep it up. I just hope that I can play some small role in somebody's life out there to help them kind of keep going as well. And so, that being said, if there's anything I can do to, topics I might be able to discuss, stories that need to be, shared, whatever, reach out to me. I enjoy hearing from anybody out there. I love getting feedback from others. So like like I've said in the past, Instagram, Facebook, Crew First Culture, direct message me there. Email is crewfirstculture@yahoo.com. So any way you feel comfortable doing it, always appreciate some conversation from others listening. So thank you very much. Also, if you do like the message, if you do feel like you are getting something from it, if there's something that's speaking to you that I'm saying or something, please share, like, subscribe, whatever it is, wherever you're listening to. It's very much appreciated. It helps to instill that good things are happening, and that I need to keep pushing forward. So thank you. As always, I want to say take care of yourself and take care of others, and look forward to next time. Thank you.